So the Pegasus have already picked up Thorsten and the Southern Cleric Bell and Echo, and one is just like giving Riona a bit of a side eye, but just like kind of a look at it's cool as he ducks his head and starts scooping up Scrag without any struggle whatsoever. And you see Rusty. There's a Pegasus down on one knee in front of you, for you to mount up, and then Riona, yours is the largest of all the Pegasus. And he stands looking down at you proudly. And he says, "Would the lady care for a ride?"
That's great. Animals are talking to me. Okay.
I believe this is not the first time.
No, but you're also not Hall or Oates.
Spells had no magic.
I am not going to trust the magical unicorn in the middle of the fucking forest that's going to turn into a skinwalker and rip us apart like Granny did.
You are so far removed from every other little girl on the planet.
Yeah,
Riona 4 days ago, in a heartbeat, would have hugged that unicorn. 4 days of nonstop trauma, losing everyone she loves, Max dying after saying I love you to him, and then Hasgard disappearing. She ain't trusting nobody. She is broken-hearted. Just nope.
So everybody wakes up with a long rest. The Pegasi help you down. The Forest Master greets everybody mentally. Scrack, you recognize her right the hell away. You recognize the Forest Master as the central power of all living magic forests. Like this is this is almost would be the deity of your people,
right?
If she decided to have worshipers.
I'm thrilled.
So you are well aware that getting to be in her presence is no joke.
Loving this.
Thorsten has no idea who she is. But he is wise enough to keep his trap shut.
Not something Rusty can be accused of.
Right, I was going to say.
I may be wise, but I'm not, gonna keep my mouth shut.
Roll with disadvantage.
And so the Forest Master greets you all. You are at peace here. Please relax. The world outside cannot touch us where we are. And so the Forest Master greets you all. You are at peace here. Please relax. The world outside cannot touch us where we are.
Have you seen the world outside recently?
Yes, and it is very disturbing. But that is not the quest that you are on right now, is it?
Should it be?
Eventually, you will grow into that. But for now, Riona needs answers.
Okay, anyways. I don't need answers from you, and I don't need your help.
Oh,
Don't disrespect her.
I don't even know her, Scrack, and she's
Don't.
just...
I do.
Well, then you ask her questions. You talk to her.
I'm listening.
Riona,
The forest master looks at you, Scrag, and says, "It's okay. She's been through a lot. She has much more to go through, and it will be her decision to remain as a child or to grow into her power."
Riona, remember how we talked about not trusting everybody? It's okay to trust some people. Or forest spirits.
Just because they have power doesn't mean I should trust them. Just because they
try
can,
and help you doesn't mean that you should distrust them.
and just because they offer me power and answers doesn't mean I should trust them either, Rusty.
Fair enough, young Riona. Perhaps this will show you my truest of intentions. You feel a nudging on the back of your shoulders.
It's totally not gonna make me spin around and want to hit something as I turn around and go to hit something.
As you spin around and wind up to hit, you hear "Mrrr!" and Hall and Oates are standing behind you.
You are not allowed to see me cry.
It's okay,
Yeah.
Justin's crying somewhere right now too.
Right, exactly.
They both just tackle you. Big head rubs and
Just holding them. Mask is off. It fell off when they tackled me. Big red eyes from crying all day. Just hugging him.
maybe now you understand.
No answer.
The world is not all evil, Riona. But there are things that you must deal with.
Nope, not answering. Just you've lost me for like the next 20 minutes. Hall might be losing some air, but I'm holding on to both of them.
Scrack and Rusty, give me a perception check.
All right. 25. Damn, I'm rolling good today.
Look at you.
17.
The roll I
I'm
failed
rolling
was the
adequately.
roll I should have failed. This
Both
is
both
killing
of you notice Torsten just fall to his hands and knees and just gripping at the ground, almost vomiting out sobs.
At least I'm not the only one crying.
He,
Are you
he's,
okay, Torsten?
he's not even looking your direction.
just
Doesn't
sloppy
matter.
crying.
And yeah, and you see the forest master looking at Torsten with like big eyes of sorrow and sadness, but understanding.
I'll go up to Torsten and sit down next to him.
Just big bear claw. Pat, pat, pat.
How does Torsten's face look?
It's still scarred, still ickied. Still looks like it hurts. But also completely snot and tear strewn, and you know, he's going through it at the moment.
He's going to get an infection.
As she says in your mind, it's time.
You give me my llamas and now you're gonna kill me?
It is not time for you to die. It is time for you to see her.
I don't like playing the pronoun game.
Hall and Oates will be safe. They're not going anywhere. They will stay with Torsten. You may bring 2 of your companions with you for moral support. Choose whoever you want. I don't care.
Well, the 2 I would choose would have been Rusty and Hasgar. Nothing against you, Scrag, but Hasgar's not here, so I'm choosing Scrag and Rusty, obviously.
She said, then follow me. As she starts going up the hill to the tree.
I follow like a pup.
I look at Rusty and say, remember what I asked of you in the cave?
I extend my hand to her.
I
Come on.
take it. Mother and child holding the child's hand. Like,
She leads you to a giant tree, and as soon as she walks up, a knothole moves out of the way, and she gestures for you to go inside.
I'm guessing
Almost face your
Scratch goes.
fears.
I go inside without hesitation.
Yeah, I was saying he probably goes in first. Like, well, at least I know it's not
Stay out
trapped.
of my way. Yeah.
No, it's like at least it's not trapped. Scratch checked.
Goes on and on beyond to the edges of the forest and stuff. It's like this tree and the forest master are one, and they supply all the magic to this forest. And you hear a voice coming from just a little bit up the way. It's illuminated. You can see everything, but you see what looks like almost like a small ent. If you had any inclination of what that might look like, but just twisted and buckled, and you hear this cracked little voice: must get justice. Justice must be served. Must find justice.
I'll squeeze Riona's hand. It's gonna be okay.
You can feel vines going around your wrist from fear. She's like druid crafting vines around your wrist. They're like basically becoming attached to her.
I guess I'm going to.
Not going alone. I'm taking you with me.
What do you do?
I kneel to the little int.
Well, she's like 20 feet ahead of you.
Oh.
Like she doesn't even know you're there. She's walking in circles.
I don't like this. I've spent the last 6 months playing this game. Nothing. I don't trust. Very sus right now. I'm gonna walk in and explode or something.
Do I see any beetles, mice, crickets of any kind?
No. It is pristine tree floor. She's just, all you feel is the magic around you, and you see her and just this greenish light coming from her left eye.
With my free hand, control flame, green fire.
So, now, if I'm not mistaken, Riona, your eye lights up on the right side, right?
No, it's the left side. Hers would be the right then.
Okay, then yes, hers is lit up on the right hand side.
Control flame, green, with my free hand.
As soon as you see that, you see her whip her head around, and you can see part of what used to be a human face that's being slowly taken over by bark and sinew, and you see a tuft of wild red hair, gnarled hands, just little bits of body and tree bent over, and a wildness in her eye.
Then.
Okay, then yes, hers is lit up on the right hand side.
Control flame, green, with my free hand.
As soon as you see that, you see her whip her head around, and you can see part of what used to be a human face that's being slowly taken over by bark and sinew, and you see a tuft of wild red hair, gnarled hands, just little bits of body and tree bent over, and a wildness in her eye. And she looks over at your flame, and as she responds, what new torture is this? Why do you make me see visions?
Scrack.
Must
Scrack.
find justice.
Can you get these vines? Okay, I guess I'll just go with.
Not yet.
It's fine.
Not
this
now.
is fine. This is fine.
This is not a place to be disrespectful.
Who, me?
I'm squeezing Rusty's hand to the near point of breaking it.
And she starts shambling towards you.
Rusty shield.
Cannot be real.
Rusty shield.
Cannot be real.
Allow
no
me
joke.
to introduce Ryota Hyrath.
The moment you say high wrath, she
Does she look like she's getting angry or violent?
not violent, just does not like that name.
All right.
Speak your name.
Me or her?
She reaches up a gnarled finger and points directly at Riona's face.
I lift Rusty, no joke, like still attached, twist him around, all holding him into my chest like a scared child holding a teddy bear. Riona Persephone Hyrath, daughter of Justice Hyrath and Eva Persephone Hyrath.
You're being held. You're being held prisoner by a psycho
I
druid.
still want to breathe.
A little air.
She notices Scrag. For the first time, she notices Scrag. What business is this? Never seen creature before. Are you a vision as well?
No. None of us are.
You must be. You cannot be with her.
Well, you can think that.
She shambles close to you, keeping an eye on Riona,
I don't do anything.
keeping her distance from Riona as well. You will speak to me. Yes, child of forest.
Okay.
As soon as you say okay, she touches you on the forehead. And you are instantly overwhelmed, like you're frozen in spot. You see something that at your core, you feel is somewhat of an invasion of privacy,
Sure.
but you also feel her pain of it. And all you see and hear is someone who looks just like Riona in the middle of a forest, screaming out Riona's name as she, and when you see the vision go down, you see that roots are starting to take over her feet. And you instantly realize who she is.
Riona,
Yes, Greg.
we found your mother. Meet your mother.
She turns back to you, big glow of the right eye. Not vision?
No.
Not false.
She's really here.
Speaking as someone who has a lot of visions, I can safely say this is real.
She begins to slowly shuffle towards you.
I'm slowly setting down Rusty, and the vines let go of him, but I'm not letting go of his hand. Don't you run.
So
You stay here, you little bastard.
I'll put a leash on you.
Me, who I was. You look nothing.
I have his nose. I have his nose.
Must justice. She looks at you and offers you her hand. Speak. Speak.
I let go of Rusty's hand and I take hers. Don't you run.
Poof. You are standing in front of what can only be described as your absolute twin. You guys just see Riona holding hands with the nth person. There's obviously a mental conversation happening in front of you. Riona, you're standing in front of a mirrored version of yourself. That's why your eyes glow from different eyes, but when you're standing in front of each other, they're back and forth. And you see your mother, and she just, I thought he took you away forever.
Ooh.
Do you not know who your father is?
Of course I know, but he wouldn't take me from you.
That's because he took you from me. I don't have much longer, but let me show you what I know. And she puts her hands on your face, and you are taken back in time, mentally, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the farm and Justice and Max and you see old Busby, and everybody just sitting around having a grand old time, right? And even you have to remind yourself that that's your mom, not you, at the table with everybody. And she looks like you, but she's sitting back and she's just twirling lights like little bumblebees and stuff. And every once in a while, her hand will kind of betray, and you'll actually see it turn into a tree hand, and then back into a regular hand. And she looks at she looks at Justice and says, "You know, darling, I really don't understand why you insist that I keep up the humanity shroud while we're here, but I mean, I'll play along, but I'm so much more comfortable in my natural form. In my natural form, and uh, uh, why can't I think of that? What are they called, guys?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about
The forest creatures.
nymphs, dryads.
Faye.
Thank you. I'm much more comfortable as a dryad, but so be it. I have also chosen this human form as well. And Justice looks at her a little nasty look come across his face, and then he just softens up for a second. He's like, "Because, dear, not everyone will understand. Do you remember what happened last time mortals were in your forest?" And she glowers at him. And she's like, "Yes, but there were also heroes that came and tried to save us all." And he says, "Yes, heroes," and rolls his eyes. And then it flashes forward a bit, and you see yourself being born, and the surprise on your mother's face and the surprise on Justice's face when you came out human. Flash forward a little bit. A lot of time spent with your mother, learning to talk to animals, learning to till the ground and how to be respectful of the nature around you. And never once did she tell you that you were a dryad under severe threat from Justice. And you, every night you would fall asleep in her arms, and every night she would sing to you, and it sounded like running water in the middle of a forest. And that's why you've always felt at peace on the earth, and that's why you never wore shoes either. She insisted that you never wear shoes. And then fast forward a little bit, you were maybe 5 years old, and it was storming outside. Your father told you to stay in stay in the cupboard. And as he went running off into the darkness, you heard your mother scream and various lightning crashes. Fast forward, you see just blips of memory happening, and then finally you see Justice standing in front of your mother, having with a surprise, with a look of satisfaction on his face. Not 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 the kind of good satisfaction, but a satisfaction where he holds up a vial of green liquid and he says, "See, even the powerless can be powerful now." And she starts screaming at him and lunges at him, and she looks down as she sees that her feet are planted in the ground as she becomes horrified about knowing what's about to happen to her. And you feel that horror as it starts to grow up her, as the tree that she's becoming starts to grow up her leg. And the last thing you hear as your psychic link is almost completely rendered apart is her screaming for you and reaching out in the darkness. You guys have popped back out as she looks at you, tears just running roughshod across her face.
I back away quickly from her and say, "You're wrong."
I have no strength to lie.
"17 years. Mm-mm.
She falls to her knees. Then take me now. I have fought every day in hopes that I would either find him or some news of you. Now I have you, and you won't believe me.
You're asking me to believe that my father did this to my mother, which I'm saying all this out loud for you guys to hear.
I'm asking you to believe that your father made a terrible, terrible decision in the name of power.
You're asking me to believe that my father did this to my mother, which I'm saying all this out loud for you guys to hear.
I'm asking you to believe that your father made a terrible, terrible decision in the name of power. Has he never hidden anything from you?
You've just been here this whole time?
I was rescued.
Have you been free to leave this whole time?
If I step out of this forest, I surely die. They moved me in here because this is the only way that I can keep even the slightest grip on my own sanity and who I am. I am literally in the middle of all forest magic. You would think that a dryad would be able to fight this. I don't know what he's done. I don't even think he knows what he's done. He must be found.
Well, it's a good thing I'm looking for him. But I was looking for him to go home.
And where, pray tell, little one, is home?
A little farm at Jessup's Nest.
Tell me, have you ever found the basement?
About a week ago.
Please tell me you didn't bring any of it with you.
I have a crown I found down there. I have an orb inside of my backpack. And I have my staff. And I pull the staff from the back of my backpack.
She looks at the staff and smiles. She said, "Of course it found its way to you."
Yes. Snowball said his magic's in it.
Oh, did he? Let me guess. The orbed white dragon? He'll do anything to make a friend.
Doesn't want to be my friend. He wants to be Hasgar's friend.
Oh, I wouldn't let him do that.
Hasgar's not here anymore.
So I hear. Yet, from what I understand, he has a pesky. He has a pesky a reputation of coming back. That staff. What color does it glow, dear?
Green. Like my
Well-
fire.
Like your fire. Like your eyes. She reaches forward and boops you right in the middle of the forehead. You are now a dryad.
Oh, that's awesome, guys. I just turned into a dryad in front of you.
Well, not in front of them. You're still in the thoughtscape.
Yeah.
And she goes, when you unlock your true power, when she boops you back to normal, you'll be able to do both. Just don't do it in front of your father.
I
Speechless for the first time ever.
Yep, just do you have one of these? And I take the necklace charm from the staff and I show her.
If it's not too bold of me. Before I lose all memory and all of myself to the ravages of what he's done to me, may I hug you?
I hug her.
She just falls into you, and you guys see her just her tree self just almost engulf Riona, and not actually engulf her, but like you know, but just big giant hug, and so now we're back outside.
And that, Scrack, is why you should consider joining Leviscus.
I hear that, Rusty. Shut up.
Oh, you're back.
Guys, this is Eva Persephone, my mom. Just call her Eva.
Eva.
Mm-hmm.
We've met.
Yes, not visions.
No, we're not visions.
Welcome.
I take her hand that's up and I druid craft a daisy chain around her wrist.
She smiles, touches your forehead, and makes a overwhelmingly humongous daisy crown on your head.
Uh-huh.
And
So
bows to you.
I reach back and I break the vines that are holding my hair and just let my hair go poof. I'll put it back up later.
We don't.
Must get justice.
Guys, but can I say goodbye and then we'll go out?
You might want to introduce her to an old friend that you have in your bag.
Trust me, she doesn't want to meet him. She doesn't like white dragons.
Yeah, that's not the friend I meant.
Oh. Get my backpack off. First, I pull out the body of Busby, set him on the ground. And then I dig around, I pull out the head and set the head down next to it. Busby, Mom. It's not justice, but I brought a friend.
I thought I looked terrible.
A skinwalker came out of him. The things you were fighting before at the tree.
She reaches up and has tendrils come out of her fingers and tap into the magic of the tree. And she reaches a hand out and says, "Demons are not how you die." And tendrils come out of her right hand, sewing his head back to his body as a giant, as a palm-sized orb of glowing yellow light extends forth from her hand and goes into Busby's chest. And you hear
Not the first time I heard him gasp for breath.
Oh, what was that?
Hi, Mr. Busby.
Not to sound ungrateful, but where am I?
You asked the wrong question. Maybe you should start with when.
Riona Hyrath. It's nice to meet you.
No, that's not your name. Riona's a baby.
Like I said, maybe you should start with when. You've been dead for over 20
I'm sorry,
years.
you froze, Riona.
I was going to say, I pointed at my mom and I just say, Eva, Riona, Rusty, Scrack. I'm 22 years old now, by the way.
Oh, you look
Kweezy, you're going to kill him
terrible,
again.
Eva. Eva pokes his forehead, and you can tell they're having a little bit of a catch-up session.
Let them catch up. I look at Rusty and I give him a look like we need to talk. Like legitly, we need to talk. And I look at Scrack and I'm just I'm terrified but happy at the same time.
Davidos comes out and he's like, "Well, that all sounds terribly exciting.
Mm-mm.
Hi.
You're gonna do one thing for me and then I'll let you go and do whatever the hell you want and crawl into any hole and anywhere on the earth. Give me a way to communicate with my father. I know you can do it. Give me a way."
Well,
I'm like, I point at the necklace, like, that's a fake. Can you make another?
we are in the middle of the source of great magic. One moment, please. Be right back. He scuttles out.
Right.
You hear the
And he's gone.
I'm going
forever.
up for cigarettes.
Yep.
you hear
About
you
the
hear-
first time I've heard that.
you hear the tree open. You hear the tree close. And then
Hear
you
a car start.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna go get some milk. I'll be right back.
You hear mumble 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 mumble, and then nothing, and then mumble mumble mumble, nothing. Loud mumble, nothing. Little mumble, nothing. Defeated mumble, nothing. Door opens. Davidos comes walking back in. I swear, it's so stingy. All right. I can make one thing. My darling, the false pendant, if you please.
Give him the false necklace.
Now, I'm not promising that he sits down and produces like a little table. I'm not promising that this is going to lead you directly to him. But what I can promise is you see him reaching out for tools and stuff that aren't there, that just appear. And you see the white magic start to come down from the roots and start trickling into his arms as he's working. And he's like, what this will be is essentially a compass to point you the way from his last known locations. As best I can do.
So it points in the direction of where he is or where he was. Because if that's where he was, it's not very useful there, old man Busby.
Is and was and could be.
Anyone else feeling that Skinwalker Busby was a little more useful?
Now, focus on every memory that you have of Justice Hyrath. Everything you've ever heard, everything you've ever felt, every smell, every dynamic, anything and everything that you can remember, the better the picture, the more accurate the compass.
As you wish. And I will sit and think about it. And I think about all those great, happy memories I have. And they keep getting tainted with the last memory I just got. And I start producing flame in both hands, and they're slowly going up my arms as my eyes are closed.
And you feel Davidos reach out and start pulling that flame off of your arms and imbuing it into, and he reaches up and he grabs flame from Eva, and he goes, anything from you, Rusty?
Muted love.
I was trying to find it.
Mhm.
I will take my canteen and splash some water on myself and cast Armor of Agathis at the first level.
No need to get prickly.
Just take the magic.
He removes the armor of Agathis and molds it in. And Scrack, the most amazing of all creatures. He reaches out and plucks the tiniest of underfeathers from you. And puts it in. Beautiful needle. And he whips it around, smashes his hands together. And now your dragon claw orb has a spinning feather in it. And whenever you think strongly on your father, it will point in the direction of where he is or was.
Whose father? Hold on. Mine?
No. Riona's
No.
father.
Riona. Yeah, I was gonna say.
We don't need to find your father.
It's
do we?
I know. That's why I'm asking.